You're looking for a simple sales funnel strategy. You got it. Hey, I'm Michelle Sism. I want to welcome you to Entrepreneurs Take Action. And I want to talk to you today about something I call the result ascent. And that is looking at your sales funnel from a conversation of value versus price. So the higher the value, the higher the price point. Now, a lot of people show up into working with me and say, you know what, I've got this piece for my funnel, but I need something that leads into it, or I need beyond that. I only know one product that I'm selling. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the result ascent. Most of you see this or have seen this, but you got a couple of pieces missing. Number one, the freebie. Everyone talks about the freebie, right? This is the how to get people started in your funnel. We'll come back to that. The second thing is the I'm a buyer product. I want people to raise their hand for you and say, I'm a buyer. This product should be like $7, $17 maybe. Anything under $20, but I really think right now, as we sit, the $7 is a sweet spot. It's really working, and $17 is really working for me right now. The third thing that we want is our no-brainer product. That's that 97, maybe 47, 97, 197, somewhere in there. The 97 price point really works well here. And then beyond that, we move into higher value, higher price. The sky's the limit, okay? So I want to give you an example of that. And that would be, I had a client a couple years ago, and they taught people how to have podcasts. When they showed up, they were doing a group training. They charged $1,000 per person for it. And it was how to create your podcast in a day. And so they would get together for this group training for one day and teach people how to create their podcast. And so what they were looking for was the funnel to get more people into that. And then what do you do beyond that? So we started out by deciding that the first decision was that the freebie was going to be a webinar. And the webinar was going to be about how to make money with your podcast. Yay, everyone wants to know how to make money with their podcast, right? The next thing was the I'm a buyer product. And we decided that that was going to be a group of templates for creating your podcast. We priced that at $7. It sells very well. The next thing is the no-brainer product, that $97 to $197, maybe $47 product. They went for a $97 product, and this one was a 4-module training on how to have a top 10 podcast. Actually, it might have been 2 modules. How to have a top 10 podcast, okay? Moving from the top 10 podcast conversation was where their current product was, which was the group training day on how to create your podcast in one day. And then we started to think about what is it that people don't have now. We've talked to them about making money. We've talked to them about having a top 10 podcast. We've talked to them about creating their podcast and gave them some templates. What we haven't talked about is marketing. So the next conversation is a conversation of a VIP day to create an individual marketing plan for your podcast. Beyond there, you can go into coaching, and it could be, or maybe some done-for-you services, helping them actually get all of this stuff done and get their podcast started. So there you go. There's a results ascent for someone who teaches podcasts. So just look at what you teach, what pieces do you already have, and where do you need to fill in the other spots. The other conversation I wanted to have was, when we look at people who are providing services that might be in person. So my daughter's dog groomer actually came to mind. And so the dog groomer has one main fee. One main thing that she does, and that is grooming dogs. And so she charges $60 to $75 depending on the dog, and that's pretty much what she's doing. She's, her clients are worth that's what they're worth, is, maybe once every 6 to 8 weeks they bring their dog in for grooming. And so the conversation here would be, how does she, number one, get more people in with something that's maybe free? And then number two, how does she add in other products and services to get that client to become worth more money? Okay. So the first thing I thought of is that she could have somebody in there that does maybe doggy massage, or maybe they do nail trimming for free. A free dog massage, a free nail trimming. Dog owners would show up in droves for that, right? And then once you've got them there and you're doing the free nail trimming, then the conversation becomes, wow, how often are you having your dog groomed? So there's bringing them into the grooming. But then beyond that, it might be, When's the last time you had your dog's pictures taken? So we do doggy pictures. Or maybe it's time for another doggy training class. Adding in those additional services. So what does that one client need? They're coming in for grooming, or they're coming in to get the dog's nails trimmed, and then you're going to have a conversation of grooming, and then pictures, and then training, right? Do you see how we've just now added value for that one client for this solopreneur? And beyond that, it's to look at what's the continuity program that you can put together. My daughter first got her first, when my daughter got her puppy, goodness, that was hard to get out. When she first got the dog, she went to a vet, and they had a continuity program. She paid $50 a month on a 12-month contract, and that covered the dog's visits and some medications, worming, that kind of stuff. And so what is it that this dog groomer can do as a continuity program? Maybe over a 12-month period, they pay $60 a month or $75 a month, and they get, dog trimming 6 times a year, or dog grooming 6 times a year. They get pictures taken twice, and they get to go to 2 training classes. Something along those lines. Can combine them all together and get somebody on a long-term contract. All right, so there is our conversation about a simple sales funnel strategy. Don't overthink this. That's the problem for most people. They're overthinking it. I want you to think about, what do I have? What do people need before that point? What do people need after that point? So how do I add in the other pieces? All right, this is Michelle Sissom saying, be decisive, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.